If you are completely broke right now, but you want to make your first $10,000 online, I'm about to give you the exact step-by-step framework that's going to get you there in 90 days or less. And while you technically could start a physical product business with less than that, I'm going to be realistic and say you should have a solid $1,000 to $5,000, which would be a minimum amount to do it properly. Now, this isn't theory or motivation. This is actually the precise blueprint that I would be following if I lost everything tomorrow and I had to rebuild from scratch. So I know what it's like to be broke, because when I started, I was living in a shared flat with 4 other people. I had $6,000 in my bank account, which was my life savings, and I had a bunch of different odd jobs. So I was working in retail, I was working in hospitality, I was a promo girl, I did the newspaper run, all pretty close to minimum wage. And I felt completely stuck. I knew I wanted to be successful, but I did not know the path to how. But then I used the systems that I'm about to share with you and go from that broke 21-year-old girl to making $3.5 million in my first year of business. And more importantly, I have taught this exact system to thousands of my students who've used it to make their first $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, and then scale to over 100,000 months. So first, I'm going to go over why $1,000 to $5,000 is the sweet spot for launching properly, and then I will show you how to make your very first sale within 30 days of launching. And then next, I'm going to show you how to turn that first sale into consistent $1,000 months, and finally, I will show you how to scale rapidly. So by the end of this video, you will have a complete roadmap from 1K to 10K by selling physical products. So starting off with why $1,000 is the realistic minimum. So with $1,000, you can actually build something very sustainable, but here is my budget breakdown if you have $1,000. So if you had $1,000, you could split that into $500 to $600 of initial inventory. So let's say you want to sell this eyelash serum, which I used to sell. You would be able to get it for around $3 a tube, and you could sell that for $79 a tube. So let's just go $3 times 200 units equals $600 worth of inventory. Next up, you will need $29 a month for a Shopify online store, which is your website where you're going to be selling things. And I always start off by gifting product to influencers on social media to get the word out there and create content for you. So you will need a small amount of money reserved for freight and shipping those products out. You do, however, need to be very strategic about which product you choose to sell. So here is what I suggest you think about when doing your research. You want to find something that's lightweight and small so that your shipping costs stay under $10. So try to look for products with high perceived value, but also reasonable production costs. I would make sure it solves a specific problem for people who are willing to pay for that problem. This is very, very important. So here are some examples for you. My protein powders, I would get them made for $25 a tub, and I would sell them for $79 a tub. My shapewear business, I would get each piece of shapewear for $17 and sell for $79. And my gift box business, we could usually create a gift box with around $25 worth of ingredients, and we could sell one for $79. And here are some winning product categories that I'd recommend. So phone accessories, fitness accessories, home organizational products, I love to buy those, pet accessories, kitchen gadgets, and also beauty products. So these categories, they work because they are consumable. They have a high perceived value, and they also solve everyday problems, although there are so many different business ideas to choose from out there. And my favorite way to find trending products is actually looking on TikTok and Instagram. Now, if you've chosen your product, ordered some samples, and you've made your first order and your inventory has arrived, do not just click live on Shopify and hope for the best. You're actually going to want to launch with some intention and a little bit of strategy. So this is the step-by-step strategy that I teach in my 8-week business masterclass training and also my 12-month mentorship program. So step 1, build up social proof on your website and also on social media. So your website is your portfolio. It's actually what is going to convince somebody whether they need your product or not. Step 2, sending out product to influencers, so micro-influencers, your mid-tier influencers, your macro-influencers, and people on social media to create content for you and also spread the word about you to their audience. Step number 3 is creating organic content and scaling that up through paid ads. And step number 4 is you can add in things like email marketing, events, collaborations with other businesses, and using more influencers. And then you can scale up more and more and more. So it's actually just this combination of these few things, but just doing more of it. Now let's talk about organic marketing. So that could be posting daily on Instagram or TikTok. And no, do not post about your products and features every single post. That is one of the biggest mistakes I see people making. Nobody likes ads, and that is one way to never be able to grow a community. So I'd be focusing on coming up with a set of content pillars that are value-based. And that way your content is always going to bring in customers and community naturally. I'd also be creating content showing your products in action and behind the scenes, the journey, the moments, because all of that makes people feel connected. People like people. So if you don't want to be in the content, you don't need to be in that content, but somebody does. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, or what I help a lot of my clients do is I help them to hire somebody for a few hours a month. They film a ton of content in those hours, and then they've got enough content to schedule for the month ahead, and that whole month of content is covered. So after you've built some momentum organically, then it is time to turn on your ads. So I'd always recommend starting small, maybe $10 to $20 a day on Facebook and Instagram. That is actually plenty to get started. I would focus on content testing. So that could be 6 to 10 variations, so 6 to 10 different types of ads, maybe a few videos that showcase the product in action. Could be a few pieces of content that highlight the results or include reviews. Could be static images of the product. Could be user-generated content of real people using and interacting with your product. So I'd be testing around with different audiences and also playing around with different creatives, but making sure that you are running conversion campaigns. So important. Not just traffic campaigns, you want to be running conversion campaigns. And as you are learning what works for you, I would be scaling up your winning ads and cutting out the ones that don't perform. And if you want to take things to the next level, you could even look for an ads agency. I remember back to my first business, I thought I was doing a really great job running the ads. We were doing about $100K a month, and then I used an ad agency and they got me to $400K the next month. The only thing is I wouldn't use an ad agency when you've just launched because the key is building up social proof first. And that is why I teach the step-by-step method in my 8-week business masterclass training so that you don't waste your time and your money on doing things in the wrong order. So let's talk about sales goals. Let's say you want to hit $5,000 a month. So here is what that looks like depending on your price point. If you are selling your product for around $99, that is around 1.6 sales per day, and at $150 per product or per sale, that is only 1 sale a day. So it's actually not that crazy when you break down the numbers. And the fastest way to reach those numbers is by increasing your average order value. So think product bundles, I'd be doing upsells at the checkout, I'd be cross-selling items that naturally go together. So these are little tweaks that can make a huge difference in how quickly you can scale. So when I launched my protein powder, I was selling for $79 a tub. And then I introduced a 2-pack, so it was a value bundle, which was 2 for $125, which works out to be $62.50 a tub. And then I also added some fat burner capsules and also an ebook, which upped the price further. So my customers went from spending $79 per order to $169 per order. So if this is feeling a little bit out of reach or impossible, I just want to show you some of my students and how much they've been able to generate. So Tara here, she was able to do 10K on the first day of launching her kids' beanbags. They're super cute. I actually have 2 in my lounge. Or my student here, Raz, who did $14,000 in the first week, and she hit $100,000 by month 5. So she sells these lovely kids' mats. So if the monetary goal seems very unreachable to you, I'm telling you, it is not as hard as you may think. Now, every dollar you make in those early stages should be reinvested back into the business so that you can get more inventory, spend more on your marketing, maybe hire a couple of team members, and continue to grow and grow and grow. Until you get to a point where you might actually be able to step out of the business entirely and even sell your business for a really nice payout. So that is what I did. I scaled my shapewear business and my protein business up for 2 years. I sold for a 7-figure deal. I cashed out, I bought my dream home, and then I launched another business since I know how to do this now. And I'm probably going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Start the business, scale the business, sell the business, and spend the money on holidays, properties, investing it, and living my dream life. Now finally, to wrap things up, let's talk about why physical products give such a huge advantage over services when it comes to scaling. So firstly, you can sell the same product to unlimited customers without extra effort. You're not trading time for money. So physical products, they often have a higher perceived value compared to a digital product, and it's also easier to turn first-time buyers into repeat customers. You can sell across multiple platforms, and there's even the potential for wholesale and retail partnerships down the line. And that was your roadmap from 5K months to 100K and beyond, with strategies, the system, and real examples to prove that it can work. So if you have $1,000 and you are ready to build a real business that can generate over $10,000 a month for you, I want to help you succeed. I have an 8-week business masterclass training that will take you from A to Z, including how to find your profitable business idea, how to deal with suppliers and manufacturers, supplier contact lists, and all of my marketing strategies to scale up to 100K months. Just click the link in the description below to watch my free training and access this right now. Or book a free call with my team and apply for my mentorship program to work one-on-one with me. Starting a business could change your life. It absolutely changed my life. So when you are ready, I want to help you do it.